but you're now running this business for Uber worldwide out of the US. Are behaviours different? Are some more advanced with this behaviour than others in different markets? You've worked for Amazon in the past as well. They've obviously gone way down that track in the United States.
Absolutely. We are seeing this as a worldwide phenomenon. We are in 33 countries, and currently Uber's grocery and retail business is a $7 billion business. We're growing 40% year over year, and so we're really beginning to get penetrated. We're seeing customers have got used to using Uber Eats in order to get restaurant delivery, and that is also worldwide. We have a big business in the US, but in many countries, and now those customers, over 14% of them, and growing, are beginning to also try grocery and figure out how does that also sit into their daily lives.
Okay, so are the natural first users of this service with supermarkets, are they likely to be those who have already bought restaurant food via Uber Eats?
They are, and actually, maybe they're doing it at the same time. Somebody's coming to us, they're ordering restaurant food, and then they're thinking, do I want some beer with this? Do I want a drink? Do I want some ice cream for dessert? And then they're going to a supermarket and adding that in. And sometimes it gets delivered at the same time. But then that enables them to see, oh, I can order my produce, I can order my kids' school lunches, I can order the things I'm going to want to use, and they're beginning to experience it that way. But then we're also saying, actually, people are coming to Uber for the first time for groceries. So we are not only adding additional value to our existing customers, but also opening our service to customers who aren't using restaurant delivery.
Okay, so in Australia, there have been penalties against Uber because when you first introduced transport, the taxis, those cases are now being settled. Tell me about what happens with supermarket deliveries, especially the deliveries of meat and other produce that might be a bit more sensitive.
We typically deliver in around 30 minutes, and we work really closely with our supermarkets and our merchants to ensure that customers get the right information when they're ordering and that they can have the things delivered quickly. We are in regular contact with the customers when things are delivered, so if they want a replacement, they can approve it. We can make sure then that we deliver it either directly into their hands or leave it at their door, which makes it safe and convenient.
Okay, so then tell me why, when supermarkets have committed so many billions of dollars building distribution centres, building their own sort of, if you like, delivery services, why would they then come and partner with Uber to do exactly the same thing?
We are bringing merchants and retailers incremental demand. When people come to Uber Eats, they are buying groceries that they would not have bought otherwise. We're seeing almost 90% of the revenue that's generated for the merchants and retailers by Uber Eats being totally incremental. And this is because people use it for different use cases. They use it for top-up shops, where they begin to think it's come to a day, it's not necessarily a big weekly shop, but they've run out of certain salad, or they're missing an ingredients for a recipe, or they want kind of fresh produce in a more regular basis, or it's an emergency pop-up. Something happened, as often happened to me. My kids would come back from school and say, tomorrow, Mum, I need all of these things. And I would then be able to use this in order to buy it, send it to school with them. And so those emergency pop-up and top-up occasions are bringing incremental demand to retailers.
Okay, so are the natural partners for you with this service? Are they the big supermarkets in Australia like Coles or Woolworths or Walgreens in the United States? Or are they naturally smaller independent supermarkets that may be able to use this service to compete with the delivery services of the Woolworths and the Coles of these world?
The benefit of Uber Eats for our customers and for the merchants is that you can now shop everything in your local environment. It means actually we're really enabling local commerce. It actually puts smaller merchants on a level playing field with large global retailers or the large national retailers, because you can spin up an e-commerce business with almost turnkey technology, enabling within the hour delivery, which was unthinkable a few years ago, and a grocer or retailer could have that live within a matter of days without needing large IT systems or a lot of resources. And that really brings competition into this environment, which is great for customers and it's great for local communities. It means that these bricks and mortar stores are able to generate more revenue through them, which makes it possible for them to continue to exist and continue to be able to compete in the ecosystem.
You were in charge of business previously, in other words, trying to bring these new businesses on. Now, those small businesses, when they come on, do they share the data with Uber so that they can actually work on improving their own businesses?
We provide all of the merchants with dashboards and data which tells them things like their top sellers. How is that growing? They can see time of day, day of week, what are the trends that are coming through, but also be able to work on their customer experience metrics. How often are the items that they've listed available actually available, and can they be found? Do they need to actually work on their store layout so it's easier to shop? How do they need to work on the timing it takes to pick and pack if they're doing that themselves? Or we can provide that to them. So we really are helping merchants improve their business and bring them new demand.
There's a very scale and size of our cities that's actually play into this strategy, because if people are a kilometre, 2 kilometres away from their supermarket, away from their shopping centre, they're more naturally, rather than getting in the car, going to have somebody bring the stuff to them. Is that the way in which maybe this strategy is actually borne out, not just here in Australia, but around the world?
I think it plays into it, but there's a number of reasons why people might not want to leave their house. We found previous to COVID, people would often pop in on their way back from work. But now, with so many people working from home, actually going to the supermarket is a trip they now don't want to take. And so by having this service available, it means they don't need to do it. And then I think of countless reasons we hear from customers. You know, the kids are in bed, you're home alone with them, like you don't want to leave the house, you can still get your groceries done. Or people with less mobility, without access to cars, they can still get access to a lot of supermarkets. And people like to shop local. They want to know that their local grocer or the local specialist or just their local chain of their grocery is going to be available to them when they want to pop in, but also when they want to have it delivered.
Susan, many thanks for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.